Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Today is officially day one of my 30 videos in 30 days, and it's an exciting time. It's a time for me to really share, and it's something that I've actually resisted for a while. You know, the thought of being in front of a camera for years was one of the most daunting things to me. And yet, most of my life, I've been on stage or performing in some capacity. And so, this is a way for me to, number one, be able to share some knowledge, some insights, some tips, but also, this is a way for me to kind of work through my own journey of being able to share in front of a camera and allowing other people to really gain an insight into who I really am. So I hope you enjoy, and I'm really looking forward to spending some time with all of you. So for today's video, I really want to focus on two affirmations. And these affirmations are exactly what I used a little bit earlier today to really help almost unwind the pattern that I saw myself going into. And that pattern was really feeling just heavy, really feeling out of sorts, really feeling disconnected from myself. And of course, with everything going on right now in the world, we are going to feel just these patterns of dense energy that are being resolved, that are being met, these tension patterns within our own systems that are ready to integrate. And I just started noticing for myself that disconnection, if I can catch it a little bit earlier than maybe 5-10 minutes down the road or maybe an hour or two, it really gives me the opportunity to really tune into myself at a moment in my day when that disconnect isn't really expansive or isn't really charged, right? So the two affirmations that really helped me today were everything is always working out for me and I am complete. Now, I did them in this order for a really precise reason. And that reason is I really wanted something general at first. And so that first affirmation was actually, I love watching the video from Esther Hicks and Abraham of everything is always working out for me. And so I started to remind myself of that, and I started to just replay over and over and over again. And at least from my own experience, it's not something that we can just say one or two times and think that, oh, magically everything is going to change. Because sometimes what it takes is, it's not really just what we're saying, it's are we able to actually integrate a feeling with what we're saying. And that's the difference of sometimes affirmations really working well, and sometimes it feels like almost just a fleeting thought or a fleeting exercise, and it doesn't really hold any long-lasting value. And so for me, there's two things that I do when focusing on affirmations. So number one is I want to have a clear understanding as far as why I'm actually doing this in the first place. And usually for me, it's not to make this giant leap in the way that I'm feeling. It's just to feel a little bit of relief. And just that little bit of relief, it's easy to tune into that rather than needing my entire day or the entire way that I'm looking at life to completely change in the blink of an eye. It's these little steps along the way that we can take to help kind of bring us back into that state of alignment that for me works really well when I give myself the grace of honoring where I am. So I really like to then focus on the difference between just saying it and actually feeling it. And so that's going to be if we can take both a thought and we can take a feeling and then put that together in the spoken word, it creates a different charge to the actual experience. And for those of you who have played around with affirmations before, I'm sure you're aware of, at least something similar to this degree, maybe even a little bit different in your own experience. But it's one thing to say it and expect things to change, and it's another thing to really embody it and almost be that witness of, okay, maybe I am starting to feel a little bit better here. I'm starting to feel a little bit lighter, or I'm starting to feel a little bit clearer. I'm starting to feel a little bit more peaceful, right? These subtle changes that essentially then create a more solid platform or foundation from which we then operate from. So when I'm focusing on stating an affirmation, to me, I really, like we said before, I want to know my why. Why am I doing this in the first place? And once I figure out that why, then I want to really, really ask myself, am I operating from a place of belief, or am I operating from a place of just hopeful or wishful thinking? Now let me explain what I mean. So if I operate from a place of belief, that means that I'm believing in this process. I'm believing in the power of my spoken word and the power of my focused intent. I believe in what it is that I'm doing right now, which is solely to just help myself feel a little bit better. Now, of course, in the long run, by doing this on a daily basis, we can see some significant changes in terms of self-love and appreciation and acknowledgement. And absolutely, it's a game changer when we allow ourselves and give ourselves the opportunity to really understand and recognize the power that we have as far as setting that intention for our future experiences. And, in doing so, it's amazing to witness the transformation that can take place over an extended period of time, but we have to start somewhere. For me, that's probably one of the hardest things is I have this vision or this idea of something in the future, and then it's about taking that very first step and taking all those little steps along the way that are equally as important, just maybe not as satisfying to our brain and our mind of thinking, well, how am I going to get from here to here? Just start. Just try. Just go for it. So for right now, this first affirmation, everything is always working out for me. Maybe take a few deep breaths. When I say these words, everything is always working out for me. The place that I'm operating from is that I have a choice. I have a choice to operate from that platform that says everything is always working out for me. Or I have the choice to operate from a perspective or a point of view that says not everything is working out for me, or everything isn't working out for me, or maybe things are harder or more difficult because of these reasons, right? All we're doing is we're talking about a foundation. And if we have the choice, then it seems like it would be a really simple choice to say, you know what? Regardless of what I'm feeling, regardless of what's going on in my external circumstance in life, regardless of what I'm thinking of or how I'm feeling towards myself, just being very general, being very neutral, everything is always working out for me. So let's say it a few times right now. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. That feels good, huh? And you might notice that, maybe a few minutes is perfect for you, and maybe 5 to 10 minutes is even better. But just ask yourself, what is it that I need right now? What is it that would really benefit me right now? the next affirmation that I went into was, I am complete. See, if you're like me, which I'm sure most of you have experienced something similar in your life, whenever there's that disconnect in the present moment right now, so whenever I'm feeling disconnected from myself, in whatever way that looks, it could be physically, it could be mentally, emotionally, doesn't matter. When that disconnection is present, oftentimes, I kind of like look to all these tools in my own toolbox to see, well, what can I do to help me right now? And sometimes that it starts to create this habit of searching for something, right? And this habit of, okay, I need to find the answer right now. There must be something that I'm missing. And so I found it was actually pretty recently for myself that when I'm doing these affirmations, if I include I am complete in this, what it does is it's just a reminder that of course there are things that I want to learn, and of course there are things that would be really helpful or beneficial for me right now, but I'm choosing how to operate as far as I'm choosing this perspective from which to operate from. And that perspective is that the broader part, the bigger part of me, the truth of who I am, which is just this energy, this spirit, this source, right? The truth of who I am complete. And from that place of completion, I now move through life and I get to choose, what do I want to learn? How do I want to better myself? How do I want to, maybe gain a new skill? Or how do I want to improve on some aspect of myself? All of these things are done out of choice, not necessity. And that's a really key difference. Because, at least for me, if I tell myself I need to get this done, or I need to do this, or I need to be this person, then it puts so much pressure on myself, and that pressure can be really, really heavy. And so one of the ways that I found to really help kind of lighten that load is to start from the foundation of I am complete. And from my completeness, I then present myself to the world and say, I'd like to do that. I'd like to learn a little bit more about this. I'd like to play over here. And it's a way to just be a little bit more easy with yourself, and a way that I have found that really helps then integrate that foundation that we're talking about, so that I can then start to reconnect with myself and every aspect of my life at that moment in time. So, a few times, here we go, really focusing on the feeling and the thought through this spoken word. I am complete. I am complete. I am complete. There we go. Now, at least for me, earlier today, and most of the time when I choose to really utilize affirmations to my benefit, I spend at least a few minutes on each. Because sometimes I feel like, even the first 20 to 30 seconds, it's just giving us that grace period of finding the momentum, of really tuning into kind of what it is that I'm wanting to create in that moment. And so, whether it's something that you do periodically throughout the day, or maybe it's how you choose to start your day and end your day, in whatever way works best for you, I offer you the guidance of integrating this thought, this feeling, through the spoken word of any affirmation of your choice. For me today, it was everything is always working out for me, and I am complete. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Please like, please comment, please share anything that you would like to learn a little bit more of. And please let me know, how these videos resonate with you. Like I said when I started this video, it's the first one of what I'm doing for the entire month of April, which is just each day, just sharing something that's in my heart, sharing something that's been helpful or beneficial with me. And I'd love to hear some of the things that have been helpful for you as well. So please share with me, and I look forward to creating more of these videos in the upcoming days and weeks. And I'm really excited to, to use this time right now as a moment of really, really tuning in to the truth of who I am. And in that truth, that's where these videos are starting to then come from. So it's that place of honesty, that place of vulnerability, that place of playfulness, ease, right? All of these things that we talk about, but how are we actually implementing them into our daily life? So this whole video series is about me integrating a lot of the things that I talk about, and hopefully they can resonate with you as well. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!